Liberia is known for her diamonds, gold and oil, which in the past were used to fund wars, but the country hopes to take a step in the right direction by investing in its lumbering industry. In the period 2000 to 2001, it's estimated that only about 10% of the country's timber exports were reported by the government. The rest of Liberia's timber profits were siphoned away by Charles Taylor and his colleagues. For starters, a tracking system called LIBERFOR has been installed using technology from the European firm SGS. The idea is for every log exported to be traceable to its original concession area through a unique barcode.
Chain of custody is operated through using traceability technology. The key point of all our things are our barcodes. So if you look at all these timber here, you should see our barcode tags on the timber. And how it works is that someone who is going to export timber, they do their enumeration, they tag their trees, they do enumeration reports. Then when they fell the trees, they will tag the log and the stump. And then as they cross-cut, they will re-tag their timber at that point. So we use traceability technology using the barcodes to be able to track the timber from the port of export back to the stump.
The chain of custody system is equivalent to the Kimberley process used to trace diamonds. Since 2006, when the UN lifted its timber sanctions on Liberia, the sector has struggled to recover. This is due to poor infrastructure such as roads, bridges and ports, which were destroyed during the war. In 2010, around 30,000 cubic meters of round logs were exported from Liberia. This rose to around 100,000 cubic meters in 2011, according to SGS. Liberia's Ministry of Finance approximates that the industry brought in close to $8 million in revenues in 2011, equivalent to around 2% of the national budget. Before the war, forestry accounted for around 60% of the country's GDP, but forestry can only contribute less than 5% to the national budget as Liberia's mining and petroleum sectors develop.
We think that one key action of the government has been to implement the chain of custody, and by implementing the chain of custody, we have secure hopefully the revenue and from stumpage to export. So once the sector is fully rehabilitated, we will begin to realize, the impact, the full potential of the chain of custody agreement.
The LIBERFOR SGS tracking system is amongst the most advanced tracking systems in the world, but it has limitations as it results in documentation errors and is quite costly to run. Because the Liberian timber industry hasn't developed as anticipated, the chain of custody system has had to rely on donor funding, mainly from the World Bank and US aid. SGS says it hopes that it will be sustainable next year. However, Liberia's civil society has started raising flags about the system's limitation. There appears to be no agency governing the activities of lumbering companies. This role falls to the government, whom civil society says bending rules to allow companies to exploit when they have not completed their fees.
They should not be given partial annual harvesting certificate, but that's what they do. And so SGS, as the chain of custody managers, they are not a law enforcement agency. Therefore, they go ahead and honor the partial annual harvesting certificate, which in our view is a violation of the law. They know it is a violation of the law, but they say to you, we are not an enforcement agency.